What happens when the soul leaves the body? The hidden journey after death. Death is the one mystery every human being must face. Yet no one fully understands what happens in the moment when the soul leaves the body. Across cultures, religions, and centuries, people have described strange experiences at the edge of death. Bright lights, floating sensations, unseen beings, and journeys into unknown realms. Some call it the afterlife. Others call it the spirit world. Scientists refer to it as near-death experiences. But one question remains: what truly happens when the soul leaves the body? The moment of death is not always sudden. In many cases, the transition begins quietly. The body weakens, breathing slows, and awareness begins to shift. Many nurses and doctors who work with dying patients report that people often say they see relatives who passed away long before them. Some speak to invisible visitors as if they were standing beside the bed. These experiences happen too often to be dismissed as coincidence. It is as if the boundary between the physical world and the spiritual world begins to dissolve. Many spiritual traditions believe the soul separates gradually. The physical body remains behind, but consciousness continues. Some describe it as waking up from a dream. Others say it feels like removing a heavy coat. The pain of illness disappears, and a strange calm takes its place. People who survived clinical death often describe a powerful sense of peace, unlike anything they had ever felt before. One of the most commonly reported experiences is the sensation of floating. Individuals who have been resuscitated after cardiac arrest sometimes report that they watch doctors working on their bodies from above. They describe seeing the room, hearing conversations, and noticing details they could not have known otherwise. These stories have been documented for decades, and they continue to puzzle researchers. As the soul separates further from the body, many accounts describe movement through darkness. This darkness is often described not as frightening, but as peaceful and silent. At the end of the darkness, many people report seeing a bright light. The light is often described as warm, loving, and alive. Those who encounter it often say it felt like being welcomed home. Some believe this light represents divine presence. Others believe it is a gateway to another dimension of existence. Many who experienced it say the light communicated without words. They felt understood completely, as if every thought and emotion was known. Another commonly described experience is the life review. People often report seeing scenes from their past, sometimes in extraordinary detail. Moments long forgotten appear clearly, as if they happened yesterday. The life review is not always judgmental. Instead, many people describe it as educational. They see how their actions affected others, feeling both the joy they caused and the pain they created. Some individuals report encountering spiritual beings. These beings are described in different ways depending on cultural background. Some call them angels, others spirit guides, ancestors, or messengers. Despite the different names, the descriptions share similarities. These beings are often described as peaceful, wise, and protective. Not everyone who approaches death continues into the next stage. Many who have near-death experiences report being told that it is not yet their time. They describe reaching a boundary or a gate beyond which they could not pass. Sometimes they are given a choice to return. Others say they were simply sent back. The return to the body is often described as sudden and uncomfortable. After experiencing peace and freedom, Returning to physical life can feel heavy and restrictive. Some people wake up confused or emotional because the experience felt more real than ordinary life. Scientific explanations suggest that near-death experiences may be caused by chemical changes in the brain. Lack of oxygen, stress hormones, and neural activity may produce vivid sensations. However, science has not fully explained why people across different cultures report remarkably similar experiences. Ancient cultures held strong beliefs about the journey of the soul. In ancient Egypt, the soul was believed to travel through a spiritual realm, where it would be judged according to its actions in life. In many Eastern traditions, the soul is believed to continue through cycles of rebirth, learning lessons across multiple lifetimes. Indigenous cultures often describe the spirit world as existing alongside the physical world, separated only by a thin veil. Many religious traditions describe angels or messengers who assist the soul after death. These beings are believed to guide the soul safely into the next stage of existence. Some traditions believe the righteous are welcomed peacefully, while troubled souls may experience confusion before finding rest. Reports from hospice workers often include stories of patients who suddenly become peaceful shortly before death. Some who had been unconscious awaken briefly, speak clearly, and then pass away quietly. This phenomenon has been observed in many countries and remains unexplained. Some people believe the soul lingers near the body for a short time after death. According to these beliefs, the spirit may observe loved ones and surroundings before moving on. Many cultures hold rituals intended to help the soul complete this transition. There are also stories of shared experiences where family members sense the moment a loved one passes away, even when they are far apart. Some report dreams or visions that occur at the exact time of death. These experiences suggest that consciousness may extend beyond physical distance. Fear of death is natural, but many near-death survivors report losing that fear entirely. After their experiences, they often describe death not as an ending, but as a transition. Many become more compassionate and less concerned with material success. Relationships and kindness often become more important to them. The idea that the soul survives death raises profound questions. If consciousness continues, what determines where the soul goes? Is there judgment? Is there learning? Is there reunion with loved ones? Different traditions offer different answers, but they all share the belief that death is not the end. Some researchers studying consciousness believe the mind may not be entirely produced by the brain. Instead, the brain may function more like a receiver, allowing consciousness to interact with the physical world. If this idea is true, it could explain how awareness might continue after the body stops functioning. Stories of children remembering past lives have also contributed to the discussion about the soul. Some children describe places and events they could not have learned through ordinary means. While controversial, these cases continue to be studied. Another mystery involves people who report seeing deceased relatives shortly before death. These experiences often bring comfort rather than fear. Patients sometimes describe their loved ones waiting for them, as if preparing to guide them onward. Some traditions describe the moment of death as a release. A soul is said to return to a greater source of existence. Just as a drop of water returns to the ocean, individual identity may merge with something vast and eternal. Others believe the soul maintains individuality and continues to grow in another realm. According to this view, death is simply the beginning of a new chapter. The exact moment the soul leaves the body remains unknown. Medical science defines death based on heart activity and brain function, but spiritual traditions suggest the departure of the soul may not occur instantly. Some believe the process continues for minutes or even hours after the body stops. Throughout history, people have searched for evidence of life after death. Some have studied mediums who claim to communicate with spirits. Others have examined electronic voice recordings believed to contain messages from beyond. While controversial, these investigations continue to attract interest. One of the most intriguing aspects of near-death experiences is the consistency of certain elements. People from different religions and cultures often describe similar journeys involving light, peace, and encounters with beings of wisdom. This consistency raises questions about whether these experiences reflect a deeper reality. Even skeptics acknowledge that the mystery of consciousness remains unsolved. Scientists can measure brain activity, but the nature of awareness itself is still unknown. Understanding consciousness may be the key to understanding what happens after death. Some philosophers suggest that death may be like awakening into a greater reality. Just as a dream seems real until we wake up, physical life may be only one level of existence. Others believe death is simply the end of awareness. According to this view, consciousness fades as brain activity stops. Yet, even among scientists, there is no complete agreement. The question of what happens when the soul leaves the body continues to inspire curiosity and debate. It touches the deepest fears and hopes of humanity. Every culture has tried to answer it, yet the mystery remains. Perhaps the truth lies beyond what language can describe. Those who claim to have glimpsed the other side often say that words cannot fully explain what they experienced. What seems certain is that death is not merely a physical event. It is also a profound transition that affects families, communities, and beliefs about existence. Whether the soul journeys to another realm, returns in another life, or merges with a greater reality, the idea that something continues beyond death offers comfort to many people. The possibility that consciousness survives suggests that our actions and relationships may have meaning beyond this life. Kindness, love, and compassion may leave lasting impressions, not only in the world, but in the soul itself. In the end, the question of what happens when the soul leaves the body remains one of the greatest mysteries of existence. Science continues to explore it, religion continues to interpret it, and personal experiences continue to shape belief. One day, every human being will discover the answer firsthand. Until then, a journey of the soul remains a mystery waiting to be revealed. The greatest question is not only what happens after death, but what we do with the life we have now. If the soul continues, then every moment becomes part of an eternal story. And perhaps, when the soul finally leaves the body, it is not the end of life, but the beginning of a journey beyond imagination. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment below and share. Thank you for watching.